Hello and thank you for attending my PowerPoint presentation on Qingque, the most character of all time. She is the single most relatable and funny character in the history of the game. Like, she makes slacking off look like an art, and I respect that. If you're wondering about all the fish elements in her design despite having nothing to do with water, 摸鱼 in Chinese, when literally translated, means to touch a fish. But in Chinese slang, usually it refers to slacking off. In any case, gameplay-wise, she casually obliterates enemies by chucking tiles at them, which is really funny. And she is the original devourer of skill points, although nobody knew about it at the time. In terms of base stats, she's pretty below average across the board, as you would expect from a 1.04 star, except for her attack, which is surprisingly pretty high. She does hold up reasonably well against Quantum, it's just that there hasn't been 3 targets weak to Quantum right now. I'll actually start with her talent instead of her basics. Whenever an ally's turn starts, she randomly draws 1 tile from 3 different suits, and can hold up to 4 tiles at any one time. If Qingque has 4 tiles of the same suit, she will consume all the tiles to enter the hidden hand state. While in the hidden hand state, she cannot use her skill again, her basic is enhanced, and she gains a massive attack buff. Hidden hand state also ends after using her enhanced basics. I love how the premise of her entire kit is that she just plays mahjong during combat. Her basics chuck out the least occurring tile to the single target, and is otherwise basic. Her enhanced basics consume all 4 tiles, and also do a huge amount of blast damage. This generates 30 energy and does not consume or generate skill points. Her skill immediately draws 2 tiles and gains a huge damage bonus. This can stack up to 4 times. Then you also get an extra turn. This means that any buffs given during this extra turn, like say Sparkle Ult or Bronya Ult or something, will not tick down at the end of it. This includes the buffs from, well, this skill and, well, the aforementioned ults. This consumes 1 skill point every use, and it does not generate or consume energy. Her ult does huge AoE damage and immediately gets 4 of a kind. This is basically the heart pity of Qingque's kit if you get too unlucky and run out of skill points, or you can just use it after you've gotten the hidden hand state and have a ton of buffs. This costs 140 energy. After using her technique, she immediately draws 2 of her tiles when the battle starts. This is one of the worst techniques in the game, and is not worth using even if you have the technique points, in my opinion, since most of the time when you're playing her, at least the modern playstyle, you want to use her skill to get more damage bonus. Because every time you use her skill, that is some 40% damage bonus, which is something you don't want to miss out on, so this is actively bad. Her A2 trace restores 1 skill point when using her skill for the first time each battle. Her A4 increases the damage boost effect of her skill by an extra 10% per stack, so now it can go up to 40% per stack, which is wild. Her A6 trace gives her 10% speed for a turn after using her enhanced basic. This is basically a permanent speed buff because ideally you want to be aiming to use the enhanced basic every single turn. Although if you're playing with Sparkle, then this is kinda pointless anyway. She also gets 28% attack, 14.4% quantum damage bonus, and 12.5% defense from minor traces. Her E1 gives her all 10% damage bonus. Her E2 regenerates 1 energy whenever a tile is drawn. This both triggers at the start of all allies' turn from her talent, as well as from her skill for 2 tiles. Her E3 gives +2 trace levels to her ult and talent. With E4, after you use her skill, there's a 24% fixed chance to gain autarky. Well, technically now it's self-sufficer, but it used to be called autarky, and I believe autarky is better, so I'm calling it that. Anyway, autarky lasts until the end of the current turn. with Autarky using her basic or enhanced basic immediately launches a follow-up on the same target, dealing damage equal to 100% of the previous basic or enhanced basic's damage. This does inherit all the buffs from the original basic except for the hidden hand one, and this counts as a follow-up but not a basic. Her E5 gives +2 trace levels to her skill and +1 to her basic, and her E6 now also recovers 1 skill point after using her enhanced basics, which really helps with skill point management. So basically, if you play a gacha game like HSR to gamble, then you should play Qingque to get more gambling per gambling. She is one of my personal favorites in both personality and playstyle, as is the case with, I'm sure, a lot of you. And I'm pretty sure she's a fan favorite both in the HSR universe, which is insane, by the way, and in our own universe. As for her actual kit, remember that is 70% attack from her self buff from her hidden hand alone, which is already absurd and pushes her already high attack into obscene territory. And plus the 80% to 160%-ish damage bonus from using her skill like twice to 4 times is absolutely obscene, and it really makes up for her pretty low base stats, although the only one that matters, which is attack, is pretty high. And also she's kind of a destruction unit instead of an erudition unit, because her enhanced basics, which is the main source of her damage, is blast. But honestly, this is I argue this is a good thing, because now she can use the really good erudition cone instead of competing over Eon with literally every other destruction character except Blade. I mean, really good erudition cones does mainly refer to just her signature battle pass one, and the day the cosmos fell. In any case, like and subscribe if you're enjoying, and you might as well check out the other PowerPoints while you're watching this one if you haven't already. Alright, bye.